Good morning! Today's video is sponsored by ABLEnow, which is an incredible tool for those of us living with disabilities.
Let's talk about the financial burden of chronic illness.
I may or may not have been in tears about that exact topic about 2 hours ago because it's real. I was born with cystic fibrosis, which is a genetic disease that affects the lungs and many parts of the body. And so, to say the least, it impacts every day.
And it's a progressive disease, which also means, and we never really talk about it like this, but it also means it's progressively more expensive as time goes on.
Yeah, it's true.
I remember when we first got married, and Mary and I have been committed to taking on her CF journey as a team, but we had to learn how to do the finances of chronic illness, and it's a lot.
And it was at that same time, we had just gotten married, so I'm transferring everything from being, in my parents' household with my parents being huge help with insurance and paperwork and all of that, transferring all of that over to Peter and I taking all of that on. And I quickly learned the paper bills and paperwork that comes in the mail from the insurance company really stresses me out. And so because it stressed me out, I was like, I'll open that later. I'll open that later. I'll put that right here. I'll open that later. And what happened was a few months later, Peter came across this pile of letters. So this was about 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago.
Yep.
And he was like, what are these? And I was like, I think that's fine. I think it's some insurance paperwork.
It was a hospital bill, and I didn't know about it. And it was at that time where we, sat down and said, okay, we've got to figure out how to carry the burden of these finances as a team, and with that burden also comes just like an emotional burden. And I think that's part of what's so complicated about living with a disability or a chronic illness is you not only have the physical ailment, you have the emotional burden, the financial burden, and all of those are intertwined.
So Peter said, let me open up the letters that stress you out and we'll figure it out together. And here we are 10 years later and we still abide by that. And it kind of goes into the other parts of life as well. The things that stress him out, I do those phone calls. The things that stress me out, he opens those letters. And we just keep taking the next step. Which brings us to about a year ago when we were taking the next step, which was moving to North Carolina for health reasons. And
there were a lot of details to figure out.
Yeah.
One of which was health insurance. Another of which was figuring out the finances of moving to a new state and a new situation where we didn't know what was on the horizon in terms of Mary's healthcare. Was she going to need a lung transplant? And it was always important to Mary and I to have an emergency fund for the so many unexpected things that happen in a life with disability and chronic illness. And so as we were researching for our move, I was just, there were days on end where I'm just researching, I'm talking with foundations and resources online about all the complicated intricacies of health insurance and health expenses and how can we make this move the wisest way. And one of the things I came across in that time of research was this amazing resource that is called ABLE accounts. And I had never heard of this before. And as I'm reading about it, I'm like, why didn't we know about this? And I think part of it is it's a relatively new thing. It is a tax-advantaged savings account for individuals with a disability.
Or families with a child with disabilities.
Yeah, and so basically what a tax-advantaged savings account is an account where you can put money into, it's like a bank account where you can put money into it where it earns interest and earnings. You can choose your kind of investment strategy, and the earnings that account, that savings account earns, you don't have to pay taxes on that money when it's used for qualified disability expenses, which are things like anything that improves your life living with a disability. So those unexpected things that aren't covered by insurance, or things that you need to do in the house to make quality of life better.
Even like transportation to the hospital if your car stops working and you need to get a new car.
Absolutely. So anything that, a lot of things fit into the realm. When you have chronic illness, you know how interconnected so much of life is. A lot of things qualify to be used by these accounts. And so a little over a year ago, Mary and I opened for her an ABLE account, and it is an amazing resource. We kind of started it as we're making this move. There's a lot of financial turbulence. We want to have an emergency savings. We have used money from that account in this past year for unexpected expenses.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing resource.
So when ABLEnow wanted us to tell you guys about it, we were so on board because, again, like Peter said, when we were researching it, we had never heard of it. And we just hope that it can be a super helpful tool to so many of us in this community who live with disability or have a child with disabilities. And this applies to everybody in the United States.
Yeah, and so ABLEnow is a specific provider of an ABLE account, and anyone in all 50 states can go online. It's completely online to sign up for one. They even have on the website, we have a link in the description, eligibility test to know if you qualify for an ABLEnow account. And one of the reasons that ABLEnow accounts are such an amazing resource is that for those who are on SSI or Medicaid, there are often, depending on your state, asset limits. So you can only have so much money in the bank account to continue to be eligible for those benefits. The amazing thing is that ABLEnow accounts don't count toward that asset limit. So this is so good because it gives those individuals an opportunity to save, have an emergency fund, or save up for a goal that you have, whether it's education or housing or whatever. Whereas in the past, there has never been an opportunity to save, right, because you would lose your health insurance or your supplemental income. And so right, this is an amazing resource that I hope can help a lot of you. I'm so glad I came across this a year ago. Yes. Because Mary and I are grateful to even just have that peace of mind that we have that account for emergencies that, come up in life with chronic illness. So if you guys want to check out ABLEnow, we have a link in the description. We're super grateful to them for partnering with us today, as we just wanted to sit down with you and kind of share that financial burden that many of us feel in walking through life with a disability.
You guys, we hear you, and we just hope that you feel seen today with whatever pressures are weighing on you, and we do hope that this can be a helpful resource. And
as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night, guys.